Good morning, children. How are you all? Let us revise the chapter Air and Water. The blanket of air which surrounds the earth is called the atmosphere. The presence of the atmosphere has made the earth a unique planet. It has life-giving gases like oxygen for human beings and animals and carbon dioxide for plants. Therefore, it provides us air for breathing. The atmosphere is held to the earth due to its gravitational pull. The total weight of the earth's atmosphere is about 500 million tons. About 99% of the total mass of the atmosphere is found within 32 kilometers from the earth's surface. The air is denser near the earth's surface and gets thinner as one goes upward. Now let us discuss about the composition of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a mixture of gases. The main features of the composition of the atmosphere are as under. Air is a mixture of gases, water vapor, dust particles, and smoke. The two main gases present in the atmosphere are nitrogen, about 78%, and oxygen, about 21%. The other gases present in the atmosphere are carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon, hydrogen, etc. about 1%. The lowest layer of the atmosphere contains water vapor and dust particles. The amount of water vapor and dust particles varies from time to time and from place to place. Heavier gases like oxygen is mostly found in the lower layer. That is why mountaineers have to carry oxygen cylinders while scaling very high peaks. Now let us discuss about the structure of the atmosphere. Our knowledge about the atmosphere is based on information received through radars and satellites. The atmosphere has a layered structure. Its total extent can be roughly divided into 5 concentric layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The troposphere is the lowest layer and is closest to the Earth's surface. It extends roughly up to a height of about 8 kilometers near the poles and about 18 kilometers over the equator. Water vapor and dust particles are found only in this layer. Troposphere is the most important layer as all weather phenomena like the formation of clouds, fog, frost, thunder, lightning, precipitation, etc. occur in this layer. The second layer is stratosphere. The stratosphere lies above the troposphere. Its estimated height is about 50 kilometers above the mean sea level. This layer is almost free from all types of weather phenomena. Clouds are almost absent and there is very little dust or water vapor. Jet planes which fly at a high altitude fly in the lower part of the stratosphere. The lower part of the stratosphere has concentration of ozone and is thus called ozonosphere. The third layer is mesosphere. It is the coldest layer. Meteors, which come from the outer space, burn up in this layer. The mesosphere lies above the stratosphere. It extends from about 50 kilometers to about 80 kilometers above the mean sea level. The temperature decreases with height and reaches about minus 100 degrees Celsius at a height of 80 kilometers. The next layer is thermosphere. The thermosphere lies above the mesosphere. It extends from about 80 kilometers to about 400 kilometers above the mean sea level. One does not feel warm in this layer as thin air holds little heat. The lower part of the thermosphere is called ionosphere as it has ionized molecules. This layer reflects low frequency radio waves back to Earth. Thus, it helps in long distance communication. The last layer is exosphere. The exosphere is the uppermost layer. The density of air is very low and it is in a rarefied form. Very light gases like hydrogen and helium are found in this layer. The temperature increases with the height and may reach up to 4500 degrees Celsius. The exosphere merges gradually into outer space. Now let us understand what is weather and climate. Weather is defined as the state of temperature, atmospheric pressure, winds, humidity, precipitation, etc. in the atmosphere at a given place and time. The term weather should not be confused with climate. Climate is defined as the average overall condition of the temperature, atmospheric pressure, winds, humidity, precipitation, etc. over a large region for a long period of time. Atmospheric temperature. The sun radiates heat and light energy. This is called solar radiation. The amount of solar radiation received by the Earth's surface is called insolation. The word insolation has been derived from incoming solar radiation. The Earth's surface absorbs maximum solar radiation during the day. At night, the heat which was absorbed during the day is radiated back. This is called terrestrial radiation. Air pressure. The atmosphere exerts its weight as pressure on the Earth's surface. This is called atmospheric pressure. Now, what is wind? Air blows from a high pressure areas to a low pressure areas. Air that moves horizontally is called wind. The vertical movement of air is called air current. There are three types of wind: planetary winds, periodic winds, and local winds. Now, what is moisture? Moisture in the atmosphere exists in solid, liquid, and gaseous state. The amount of moisture present in the air varies from place to place and from time to time. Humidity. The actual amount of water vapor present in the air is called humidity or absolute humidity. It is closely related to the air temperature. When the air holds the maximum amount of water vapor at a given temperature, the air is said to be saturated. Precipitation. The main form of precipitation are rain, drizzle, snow, and hailstorm. Rainfall is of three types: convectional rainfall, orographic rainfall, and cyclonic rainfall.
Geography, Chapter 5, Water. Children, water is a very unique feature of our planet Earth. About 29% of the Earth's surface is covered by land and 71% of it is covered with water. This shows the predominance of water on Earth. So let us discuss more about water in this chapter. Okay children, now tell me, where can you see water? Yes, Water is found in ocean, in lakes, seas, rivers, bays, waterfall, etc. Do you know what this watery part of the earth known as? Yes, it is known as hydrosphere. Children, the total amount of water on earth is fixed, but 97% of the water is found in oceans. The amount that is fixed on earth is due to the process of water cycle. Do you know what is water cycle? Let us understand this topic. Water cycle. Okay children, water is continuously moving from the earth's surface to the atmosphere and from atmosphere back to the earth's surface. This happens due to the process of evaporation, condensation and precipitation. Now let us understand how this happens. Water from different water bodies reaches to the atmosphere through the process of evaporation in the form of water vapor. The water vapor, when it reaches to the atmosphere due to the decrease in temperature, it cools down and condensation takes place. So, the water vapor is again converted back into water droplets. The water droplets falls back to the earth in the form of rain, sleet, snow, hailstone, etc. This process is known as precipitation. Water that falls on the land collects in the ponds or lakes or flows as streams or rivers. The river carries this water back to the ocean. This movement of water is known as hydrological cycle or water cycle. This process has neither a beginning nor an end. The present distribution of land and water on the earth's surface shows that northern hemisphere has more land, whereas southern hemisphere is almost a watery area. There are 4 major oceans on earth. The what are oceans? Large water bodies are known as oceans. There are 4 major oceans: Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean and Arctic Ocean. Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. There is another large water body surrounding the continent of Antarctica. This is known as Southern Ocean. Children, as there is large amount of water found in ocean, but still it is unfit for drinking as it is salty. The sources of fresh water on earth are rivers, lakes, glaciers, waterfalls, etc. Do you know why ocean water is salty? Let us discuss. Salinity of ocean water. Children, ocean water is saline due to the presence of large amount of dissolved salt in it. Most of it is sodium chloride or common salt. It is estimated that per 1000 gram of ocean water contains 35 gram of dissolved salt. That is the reason for its high salinity. The Dead Sea in Asia has the highest salinity.
Children, ocean water is always in motion. The movement of ocean water takes place in 3 different ways: waves, tides and ocean currents. Now let us discuss what are waves. Waves are formed in the ocean or seas when the wind blows across the water surface. The shape and size of the wave depends on the speed of the prevailing winds. In the waves, the surface water rises and falls. The actual forward motion of the water particles in a wave is limited. Therefore, waves travel great distances, but the water particles remains at the same place. Sometimes, especially during storms, huge oceanic waves are formed. Such waves are also generated due to earthquake or volcanic eruptions. These waves can be as high as 20 to 30 meters. They are called tsunami. Tsunami is a Japanese word which means harbor waves. Tsunami occurs when a large mass of water is displaced. The most common cause is an undersea earthquake. It causes large areas of the seafloor to rise or subside. This leads to the generation of huge waves with extremely long wavelength. The Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004. On the morning of 26 December 2004, a massive undersea earthquake occurred over the western coast of Sumatra in Indonesia. The earthquake measured 9.1 on the Richter scale. It was the third largest earthquake ever recorded. Children, now let us discuss about tides. People who live in the coastal areas know that the seawater generally rises and falls twice every day, almost at regular intervals. This phenomena of the alternate rise and fall in the level of sea water is called tides. Tides are mostly experienced in ocean and seas. The gravitational pull of the moon and the sun on the surface of the earth causes tides. Actually, tides follow the apparent movement of the moon due to its closeness to the earth. Tides are of two types, high tide and low tide. The rise in water level is called high tide, while the fall in water level is called low tide. There are two extreme positions, on full moon and new moon. The sun, the moon and the earth are almost in a straight line. The sun and the moon exert a combined gravitational pull. Thus, high tides are the highest and low tide are the lowest. This phenomenon is known as spring tide. On half moon day, the sun and the moon make a right angle to the earth. Thus, the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon tends to cancel each other. This results in a very small rise or fall in the sea water and is known as nip tide. Now let us discuss about the importance of tides. Tides help to clear the sediments deposited by rivers on their beds and thus prevent siltation of harbors. During high tide, the saline water is stored in low-lying coastal areas. This saline water is spread out in the fields and used to make common salt. The fishing industry is helped by the rhythm of tides. During high tide, fish come near the coast. Now let us discuss about ocean currents. Ocean water moves from one part of the ocean to another. The movement of ocean water in the form of a stream in a definite direction on the ocean surface is called an ocean current. Ocean currents are like rivers in the sea. The movement of currents is visible on the ocean surface. Ocean currents develop due to the variation in the temperature of ocean water, variation in the density of ocean water, and direction of the prevailing winds. On the basis of temperature, ocean currents can be classified into two types, warm currents and cold currents. Children, now let us see few images to understand the importance of water. Children, I hope you have understood the importance of water. So use it wisely.
So children, this is the end of the chapter. Your term 1 exam is going to start very soon. So just prepare well, study well and give your exam well. Till then, goodbye.